Welcome to day 4. Thank you for committing to this journey thus far. I'm so happy and proud and excited to keep continuing this journey with all of you. And yeah, to me, it feels like it's flying by. I'm going to try to keep the philosophy to 15 minutes today, which is a little bit of my area for growth. A quick review. Yesterday we talked about surrender and trust as the tools to release, and that is known as Shraddha. So Shraddha is known as faith or the ability to trust, and Ishvara Pranidhana is the act of devotional surrender. And I think these are great muscles that we can use in our life to, surrender ourselves completely to something from time to time. Like, just be like, I totally surrender myself to this experience. And to have moments of that in our life is so important. To devote ourselves to something that's bigger than just us. I think most of us have a very self-centered narrative. It's a human conundrum, having an extremely self-centered narrative. I like this, I don't like that, I want this, I don't want that, I. And that comes from our ego, our ahamkara. And we all have this, and it's part of being human, and it's totally normal. And it's part of who we are, and it's the joy of being human. But sometimes it can get a little fatiguing. Sometimes it can be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear myself talk about myself anymore. Some days after philosophy, I'm like, I don't want to hear my voice anymore. I'm done. I can't hear my voice anymore. So we have this conundrum of human beings of being caught up in our self-centered narrative, our own thoughts, our own experiences, our own stories. And having the ability to let go of those stories and let go of those thoughts can be very liberating. And one of those ways we can do that is through Ishvara Pranidhana, devoting ourselves, surrendering ourselves to something that is bigger than us. And, that could be to your yoga practice. It could be to the universal consciousness. It could be to a charity, to a community of people, to Mother Earth, different forms of activism. Just something that gets you out of thinking about yourself and thinking about a bigger picture. So yesterday we went on to talk about releasing our stories and how we can develop stories that we have around our physical body layer, our Annamaya Kosha, stories that we have around our emotional body, which I went on to talk about how they can be so strong. Like, we can have really strong emotions in our life, like sadness or frustration, depression, anger, and these emotions can feel like who we are. We might walk around saying, I am sad, I am angry, I am frustrated. And the crux of the whole thing is an emotion is an experience. It's not who you are. You are more than that emotion, even though sometimes that emotion feels like the entirety of who you are. So the practice of yoga is continuously reminding us, I am Duncan, experiencing sadness, or instead of saying I'm sad, it's I am feeling sad. And we give that emotion space to change and we give a little bit of distance between ourself and our experience and acknowledge that they can be different things. And it helps with releasing. Today we're moving on to energy. Energy, also known in yoga as prana. Prana, your life force energy. And so the theme for today is energy, prana, P-R-A-N-A. That's your life force, your vital energy force. And kind of two terms we'll kind of dive into a little bit are brahmacharya and drishti. Brahmacharya and drishti. Brahmacharya is your conservation of your life force energy. It's the conservation, or you could even say the moderation of your life force energy, of your prana. And yoga is concerned with being mindful of our sensory organs. So we have sensory organs. One of the sometimes, let me put it this way. We have sensory organs. The one that brahmacharya traditionally is concerned with is your sexual organs. And today we're still working with our sacral chakra like we did yesterday, our second chakra, Svadhisthana. And that's the chakra of basically your sexuality. It's where your sexual organs are, your reproductive organs. It's the place of creation, as we talked about yesterday. And so brahmacharya is traditionally sometimes translated as celibacy, the ability to control or be mindful of our sense organs, including our sexual organs, and being very conservative with them. And, you know, that's kind of a more traditional classical perspective that if you're practicing yoga, in some way, you're also being very mindful about how you use your sexual energy. I want brahmacharya to include more than just our sexual organs. I want it to include all of our senses. So that brahmacharya is being aware of our sensory experience and being mindful of how we're using our senses. We need our sense organs to live in this world. We do. We need our sense organs to live. That taste, ice cream, sound, you know, tactile experience, goosebumps when someone gives you a kiss, you know, the pleasure of lovemaking. We need these sensory experiences to live. Literally, like if you do not have the sense of touch, like if you can't experience touch, you won't live. So if you lose your experience to be able to feel touch, you won't live. You can't survive. And so our sensory organs are something that need to be celebrated because they help us live. Our feeling of touch, of caressing, of kissing, of hearing, of smelling, of seeing, of reproducing literally gives us life, and it should be celebrated and honored and respected. The thing with the sense organs is they're very powerful. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, you know, like our sensory experience can be very powerful. So as human beings, we can become almost enslaved by our impulses derived by our senses, and we can form addictions. And that's why the practice of yoga is about being mindful of how we are using our sense organs. So that we don't get enslaved by them and pulled by them. Instead, we're able to kind of be like, oh, you know, I feel this. Do I want to go there today or no? The direction of yoga is always towards moderation, classically speaking. The direction of yoga is generally always towards moderation. Moderation looks very different from person to person because we all have different bodies, we all have different energetic makeups, we all have different perspectives, and we're all from different cultures and upbringing. So moderation, there's a variety of what is considered moderation. But yoga is always towards the direction of moderation. Trying to be mindful of when we begin to favor excessivism. When we start to favor being excessive. There we go. We got there. So basically, yoga is the practice of appreciating simplicity. And I really like this with our sensual experience. You know, when are we starting to favor excessiveness in our senses? And to just be aware of that. You know, I love sweets. And I just like, oh my gosh, I could eat sweets all day long. And sometimes I do. But some days it's good to take a step back and be like, whoa, why am I doing this? Do I need this many sweets in the day? And, you know, the practice of yoga is towards moderation. How do I feel if I eat 3 tubs of ice cream 7 days a week? Not so good. So the practice of yoga is, you know, can you appreciate the simple things without getting addicted to excessiveness? And I think this is so relevant for our culture, because we live in a culture that is always saying, you must have more, you must be more, you must do more. You know, I lived in a bachelor apartment in Toronto, really, really tiny little apartment, like super tiny. Like from my bed, I could touch my kitchen counter. And I loved that apartment. It was like the cutest apartment. I loved living there. I loved how simple I had to keep things. I couldn't have too many clothes. I didn't have very much furniture. I didn't have that many utensils. Like it was very, very simple. Everything was simple. I could just have the right amount of everything. And I was happy. Like I was very satisfied and very happy with that. That doesn't mean to say that I don't appreciate like bigger homes and living in a bigger apartment, but I know on a deep level that I can be satisfied with a small space. I know on a deep level I actually don't need that much. And I think this is very freeing for our prana, our life force energy, when we know we don't need so much. Like so much material things, so many sensual experiences, you know, that we can be okay with just a few things. You know, you could say quality over quantity. Can you appreciate the simple things? Can you be okay with simplicity? And that's not to mean like you don't ever do things that are a little excessive or grandiose or luxurious. Having trouble speaking this morning. But when you do those things, like when you eat a big cake or when you go on like a $20,000 vacation or you know, whatever you might deem a little excessive in your perspective, you appreciate it so much more because you don't feel like you need to have that all the time. You're like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. It's so like such an intense experience. My senses are like, woo, tingling. I'm like enjoying this luxury, this wealth, this affluence, you know, and at the same time, I know I can be really satisfied and really happy and really content with a bachelor apartment where I can touch the kitchen counter from my bed. You know, there's something so liberating about that, you know. I can be really satisfied with just my kids and my husband. Or I know that I'll be really happy in my life, you know, just with these 4 things. It's always like peeling it back. What do you really need in order to feel content? This is kind of like brahmacharya, being mindful of, you know, our relationship to our senses and peeling it back to just, you know, what's necessary. What's absolutely necessary? And do I need to have it all, or do I need to just have these few things? A mantra for this is, I can conserve my vital energy by practicing moderation. So a mantra you can say to yourself is, I can conserve my prana, my vital energy, by practicing moderation. Keeping things simple helps us conserve energy. You know, I love this story of Barack Obama. He would have all his suits picked out for the week, and then he'd just roll through them from each week to week. And he said, when he was the president of the United States, there's so many decisions to make. Like, there's so much going on. There's so much pulling his attention, his energy all the time. So one of his goals was to make things as simple as possible in his day-to-day life. So one of the things that he created simplicity with was with what he wore, so that he didn't have to think about what he was going to wear. It was already done. And that helped him conserve his energy for things that he deemed of greater value and greater priority. So, you know, how can you simplify your life so that you can conserve your energy for things that are of a higher priority to you? You know, like I have a drawer, it's literally all yoga shirts. So when I open that drawer, I just pick out a shirt and I put it on, and I don't really have to think about what I'm gonna wear for yoga, unless I wanna impress someone. Then there's a little more thought into it. The number one most common burnout for most professions, but you know, I'll speak for myself, for yoga teachers, I see a lot of yoga teachers burn out from decision fatigue. Deciding what we're going to teach, deciding how we're going to teach, deciding what we're going to do next. We just get tired of all these decisions, and some teachers teach 5 classes a day and they're always deciding what to do next, and it can be a lot. So making things simple can be really liberating and good for our energy. Okay, we'll be done in 5 minutes. Trying to keep the energy going here and conserve time appropriately. Another way we can moderate our energy and be mindful of our energy is through Drishti. By being mindful of what we're looking at. So Drishti translates as your focus point, where you're looking. Classically in your yoga practice, you know, most poses have a Drishti, a focal point where you look with your eyes. A Drishti can also be translated as a vision or a point of view. So your Drishti is kind of like where you're looking. It goes with that popular saying these days, where my attention goes, energy flows. And it's totally true. Where you are directing your attention, your energy will go in that direction. Where you're directing your attention, your energy will go there. You're giving energy to whatever you're focusing on. So this is what it's going to bring us to. Pay attention to what you're placing your mind on. Pay attention to the environments you're putting yourself in. If you are around yoga people all the time, if you put yourself in an environment where your attention is on yoga people, people who are doing yoga all the time, people who are talking about yoga all the time, then it will be so much easier to do yoga because you'll be immersed in yoga. It'll be easier to practice yoga because you'll be with friends and they'll be like, oh, let's go to your yoga class. Or I heard about this cool teacher named Duncan, let's go. And you'll be like, yeah, sure. So, you know, we need to be mindful of where we're putting our attention because that impacts our energetic being. Pay attention to what type of TV shows and books you're reading. You know, what you watch on the television can strongly impact your prana, your life force energy. I mean, if you're watching zombies being slaughtered and having their heads cut off and then going straight to bed, you know, that's like interesting. Pay attention to what type of books you're reading. Pay attention to what you are thinking. This is a really beautiful quote by Byron Katie. Who is more hurtful? The person who wronged you once, or you for reliving it over and over again in your head? Who is more hurtful? The person who wronged you once, or you for reliving it over and over and over again in your head? And so, you know, this is where you have to say no thank you to some thoughts. Like, this is where mental fortitude comes in, and you have to be like, oh, this thought is coming up. No thank you. This thought is not helpful for me right now. No thank you. You know, I'm sure you all have those thoughts, you know, with an ex or a past experience, and you start thinking that thought and it gets you all riled up. And, you know, sometimes you just have to be like, is this helpful right now? Is it helpful for me to be thinking of this right now? And then you've got to be firm with yourself and just say, no, thank you. As Ariana Grande says in her song, thank you, next. You know, that's a good song. Thank you, next. Like, if a thought comes up and it's not appropriate, just be like, thank you, next. Moving on. No, thank you. Also being mindful of the energy that your thoughts are creating. If you're always thinking thoughts that make you agitated or frustrated or angry or sad, it's good to just be mindful of that. Wow, I spend a lot of my day thinking about thoughts that have this impact on me. And is this what I want or need right now? And the answer might be yes. You know, when I went through my divorce, I was thinking a lot of sad thoughts every day. But I was like mindful of that, and I was like, yeah, I do need to be sad right now, and I do want to contemplate sad thoughts. That's how I need to move through the experience. In your yoga practice, so making this a little more practical to our like physical asana practice, pay attention to where you're looking. A lot of us look kind of downwards. We don't look up or even straight ahead. We kind of, because of our phones, we're always looking down. We're always looking down. I've noticed even with when I'm teaching all of y'all, when I'm doing like high lunges, poses that are upright, I'm not looking forward anymore or even up. I'm actually looking on a downward trajectory. And so just even paying attention to the energy that begins to cultivate. Sometimes looking straight ahead, across the horizon, or up towards the heavens can have a very subtle yet powerful impact on our energetic body, rather than always looking down. Shri. So there's a practice known as Shri, S-H-R-I. And Shri in yoga translates as to like glorify. So in Hindi, it's usually the first word in someone's name who's considered, you know, a guru. Shri means to glorify. So someone's name might be like Shri Bhagavan. So Shri means like to glorify Bhagavan. He's glorious. And so the practice of Shri is glorifying our world by going out there and looking for what is good, looking for what is beautiful, so that you know, your energy can be impacted by what you are seeking out. This could be a good question. What am I seeking out every day? What am I looking for each day? Am I looking for how the world is falling apart and how it's chaos? Am I looking for how beautiful and magnificent it is? And obviously it's going to change from day to day, but it can be a really beautiful exercise to just go out there and be like, I'm going to really seek out all that is beautiful today. And then finally, your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I know it's like a common kind of thing that's written on people's t-shirts now, but it really does, it's relevant. The energy that you're creating internally will attract certain people towards you. Sometimes the people you don't want, but most of the time the people you do want. And, you know, I'll share a little personal story very quick, but when I was single after I got divorced, you know, I was just really needing love. I was needing connection, a human connection with another person, and I just wasn't getting it. I was having, you know, the one night stands, you know, dating. It wasn't successful for the most part, you know, and just really craving to feel loved. I didn't feel so much love internally. And then I went to Australia to this was in Toronto, and then I flew to Australia to surprise my sisters for Christmas. They didn't know I was coming. I flew down to surprise them with mom, and then surprised them. We had a great time, and we just all lived in the same house together. Me, my sisters, my mom's boyfriend. So it was like this really nice family unit. And when I was there, we were like in this small beach town, Lennox Head, up the coast in Australia. And we just go to the beach every day and spend time together as a family. And it was just so healing for me to feel. And me and my sisters would sleep in the same bed, like a twin bed, two of us in it. And it was just, you just felt like, oh, like I feel loved. My energy changed, my vibe changed to like this deep feeling of, oh, I am loved. It's all okay. it's all good. You know, like I'm still a little sad, but I'm actually really good now. Like I feel loved, I feel happy, I feel this genuine energy of peace, love, happiness. 2 days later, I met the love of my life, Joseph James Peter Keane, at a restaurant in Lennox Head. And I think this is my own perspective, but because I was feeling internally that energy of love and happiness, like I feel like that, the energy of the love of my family kind of just like sucked Joe into my life. And if you ever meet Joe, he has that energy internally as well. He has that love, that peace, that joy. So your vibe attracts your tribe. Quick recap of what we just talked about. Brahmacharya is the moderation of your energy. Being mindful of your sensual desires. Our sense organs make this human experience so rich and colorful. And the practice of yoga is being mindful about how we want to pursue those sense organs. And moderation is the direction of yoga. Appreciate simplicity. It can be energetically freeing to know you don't need so much. And it makes it easier for us to moderate our energy when we don't have so much stuff pulling our attention all the time. Drishti, what are you focusing on? What's your focus point? What's your point of view? Where is your attention going? What's your environment? And then Shri, the practice of seeking out what is beautiful, what is good. And finally, my vibe attracts my tribe. All right. Today we're going to be working anatomically with our energy. Sorry, I'm still wearing my pink socks. So today we're going to be working with our ground force energy. We're going to use our energy mindfully and efficiently. So on day one, we talked about our ground force reaction. That when we're pushing down into the floor is pushing up against us. Even when we're just standing on the ground, because of gravity pushing downwards, there's going to be force being pushed up through the feet and the legs. So can we be mindful of what we're doing with our feet? So on day one, we were thinking about ladybugs and ants. Today, we're going to talk about dialing in energy and dialing out energy. I'm wearing socks so that you can see clearly on the floor, my black floor. So dialing out energy is when you think about turning your foot out. And dialing in energy is when you think about turning your foot in. However, the foot is not going to move. So you're going to keep your foot planted on the ground. You can just watch me. And then you're going to think about dialing the foot outwards, but the foot's not going to move. And so that when you're standing on that leg and you're thinking about dialing the foot out, you're harnessing that ground reactive force to translate up the leg right to the cuff of the hip joint, right into some muscles known as your go-go-Q muscles, which are basically, you could consider them kind of like the rotator cuff of your hip. So they're responsible for keeping your hip stable in the hip socket. So if you're standing on one foot and the leg is straight and you're thinking about dialing that foot outwards, externally rotating the foot, but keeping the foot from moving, it can use the ground reactive force in such a way that it comes up the leg right into the outer hip socket, the outer region of the hip, right into kind of those go-go-Q muscles that help stabilize the hip in that socket. When you dial the energy in and the foot turns in slightly and the leg is straight, that energy can come up the leg and kind of get the TFL and the anterior fibers of your glute med, muscles right here, and assist with internal rotation of the leg, which sometimes can free up a bit of space on the back body because the muscles there can soften. So that's kind of what we'll be playing with today. Our butt, and our hips, because we're still working with our second chakra, our sacral chakra. Please come to your mat. Please lie down onto your back. All right. Once you're on your back, bend your knees. Take your feet mat distance wide. Let your knees knock together. And then place your hands just below your belly button. And with the hands on the lower abdomen, the region of your sacral chakra, your Shavasana, your region of creation, of creativity. Can you breathe? And with your hands on this region, can you say, thank you? I love you. Ultimately, this practice of yoga harnesses our ability to be kind and compassionate to every aspect of who we are. So in this moment, can you thank your Shavasana center, the center of your creation, place of your creativity? And then please take your feet so they're hip distance wide. Feet flat on the ground. Put your hands down beside your hips. Press down into your feet. Lift your pelvis off the ground. So you're coming into a bridge pose. And then try to dial your feet out a little. So remember, that means your feet stay parallel, but it feels like you're trying to turn the feet out without moving them too much. You might feel the skin of your feet move a little. Okay. And then dial your feet in. That one usually feels a bit weird. Okay, one more time, dial your feet out. Remember, the feet stay more or less parallel. It's kind of just the skin sliding over the bones and a different muscular focus. And then dial the feet in. And then let the feet be parallel so you're not dialing the feet at all. Push the feet down, push the shoulders down, lift the chest up, take a full inhale. And a full exhale. All right, please keep that breath going. Again, dial your feet out slightly. And then pause here. So it should kind of feel almost like your heels are coming a millimeter closer together and your toes might be going a millimeter away from each other. And touch your butt. You might feel your glutes turn on a little bit more. But deeper to the glutes, you know, the Gogakyu muscles, maybe even the piriformis a little might turn on. Okay. And then dial the feet in. So this is all subtle work. But it's using the ground reaction force here in a way that brings energy to our second chakra. So, you know, day one was root chakra, and we're using what we learned in root chakra to influence our second chakra. Okay, and then have the energy be parallel in the feet. Let go of the dialing. Push the feet down. Push the shoulders down. Lift everything up. Take a deep inhale. Okay, exhale. Lower the pelvis down. Good job. Press your feet down again. Lift the pelvis back up. Okay, and this time, heel toe, your feet a little closer together. And place your right ankle on your left thigh. Place your right ankle on your left thigh. And then put your hands on your hips, your ASIS, your frontal hip points, on your pelvis. And try to get your right hip level with your left hip. Usually the tendency is for the right hip to drop. So can you lift your right hip up so it's level with your left hip? So that might mean you have to drop your left hip a little bit as you charge the right hip up. And then tap your right butt. Can you squeeze it nice and firm so the right butt's squeezing? Good. Now try to keep all of that. Try to keep your butt turned on. And then lower your butt down towards the ground. And then pulse it back up towards the sky. Try to keep the pelvis level. And then lower it back down. We'll do it 5 more times. Lift up. Down. Up, down, 3 more, up, down, 2, up, down, up, down, and up. Pause. Is your pelvis still level? Check your little butt muscles. Are they still turned on? And then release the right foot down towards the ground. Well done. Place your left ankle on your right thigh. Come right into the other side. Hands on your hips. Try to get your pelvis level from left to right. And then lower your pelvis down. And then lift it back up. And lower down. Lift back up. Lower down. Lift back up. And 5 more. Down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I think that's 1 more. Down, up. And I want you to hold on the up. Can you get both hips level from left to right? Can you push down through the right foot? Can you touch your butt? Make sure both buttocks are squeezing. And then release the foot down to the ground. Stay in bridge pose. Stay in bridge pose. Yay, butt fun. It's Swadhisthana day. It's Brahmacharya day. It's the butt fun day. Nothing better than a bit of butt play, as they say. Lower the butt down. And then thrust the pelvis up towards the sky. Butt down. And then thrust the pelvis back up. So you're going up and down. Thrusting like you're trying to bring new life into this world. This is what we're physiologically programmed to do. Keep thrusting the pelvis up. Hopefully you don't take offense to my humor. Okay, we'll do 5 more pelvic thrusts. Best way to start a day or end a day is through the thrusting. Okay, 1 last time, thrust up, and then release down towards the ground. Well done. Hug both knees into your chest, give them a big squeeze. And rock yourself all the way up. Come onto your hands and knees. Hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Inhale, tilt the sit bones up, look forward. Exhale, push the hands and the knees down, dome through the back, round. 3 more times. Inhale, look forward, tilt the sit bones up. Exhale, push your hands and knees down, round through the back. Inhaling, deep breath in. Exhale, round through the back. 1 last time, inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, come to neutral. And please step back to plank pose so your shoulders are right above your wrists. Take a deep breath in plank. full breath out. Can you get the back of your head so it's aligned with your spine? Can you get your pelvis so it's aligned with your shoulders? Can you strongly and vigorously push the floor away? And pay attention to where you're looking. Try to look just a little bit forward. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Take your hands straight back behind you. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lift the arms, lift the legs. Shalabhasana with the hands separated. Can you draw your shoulder blades towards each other so they're a bit more in retraction? Roll the inner thighs up, squeeze the legs together. Try to straighten the knees. Inhale, lift everything up a little bit higher. And then breathe, 2 more breaths. In and out through the nose. Okay, one last deep inhale. Keep everything as it is. Reach both arms overhead. You can do it. Try to get those biceps level with your ears. Lift the arms a little higher. One more breath in. Exhale, hands beside your low ribs. Push up to hands and knees. Downward dog pose. Send your butt back and up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And a steady breath out. Okay. Again, pay attention where you're looking. If we're really concerned about our life force energy, we need to pay attention to what we're looking at. In our yoga practice, if our eyes are steady on one spot, it helps conserve our energy because our mind will be less likely pulled in different directions because it's not so distracted. So can you focus your mind on one spot on your yoga mat? Your eyes, on one spot. Then focus your mind on your breathing. Take 3 more slow, deep breaths. Good. Exhale all your air. And bend your knees, look forward, walk, walk, walk towards the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your legs, release your head. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up towards the sky. Deep inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Surya Namaskar, sun salutes. Inhale, reach the hands up. Look up with your eyeballs. Look up. It can be so empowering to look up. Exhale, fold forward and look down. It can be humbling to look downwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Elongate the spine. Look straight down at the floor, back of the neck long. Exhale, step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down towards the ground. Inhale, reach both hands up. Look up. How often do you look up? Only when there's a spider on the ceiling? That's not a way to live. Exhale, hands on the ground. Step back, downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath in downward dog. Full breath out. Bend both knees, step your right foot forward, drop your left knee down towards the ground. Inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground, look down. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, both hands all the way up towards the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, stretch the eyes up. Keep the back of the neck long, look up. Exhale, fold over your legs all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Elongate your spine, look straight down at the floor. Exhale, step left foot back, left knee comes down. Inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to the ground, listen, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge, come all the way up. Good, pause. Exhale, bend into your front knee. Press that back thigh up vigorously. Stretch those arms up. Gently pull the front ribs in. Take a slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Can you look straight ahead? Almost imagine as if there's someone directly in front of you and you're looking into their eyes. Not confrontationally, just like you see them, they see you. Can you look straight ahead, not avoiding the gaze and looking down or up, but just looking straight ahead, across the horizon. 3 more breaths. Can you go a little lower into your front leg? Can you press that back thigh up? Can you think about dialing your front foot outwards against the mat slightly? Take 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Step back, downward dog. Take a full breath in downward dog. Full breath out. Bend both of your knees. Step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, reach both hands up, look up. Exhale, hands down towards the ground, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the floor. Inhale, both hands up towards the sky, crescent lunge pose. Exhale, bend into your front knee. Press that back thigh up. Can you almost try dialing your left foot outwards against the mat? And then look straight across the horizon. Deep inhale. Full exhale. 3 more expansive, profound breaths. Can you get that front thigh a little more parallel to the floor? Can you press that back thigh up a little higher? Go for it. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, both hands come down towards the ground. Step forward, forward, forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to your chest. Good. Inhale, reach both hands up, lift your right knee up. Exhale, place your right ankle on your left thigh, just above the knee. And kind of like we did earlier. Now bring your hands together in prayer and sit your butt down and back. So this is the same position we did when we were on our back, lying on the floor. Now I want you to bring your attention to your left foot, and I want you to try to dial your left foot outwards against the mat as you hug the outer left hip in towards the right. Okay. Now try to stay this low, release your right foot and take your right knee behind the left knee and squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Good. And then bring the right ankle forward and atop your left thigh. So we're going to go between those 2 positions. Try to remain balanced. Take your right knee behind your left knee. This is working the outer hip. Then try to bring the right ankle above the left knee. 3 more times. Tuck the right knee behind the left knee. Then bring the right ankle above the left knee. 2 more. Right knee behind the left knee. Try to keep your chest lifted. Try to keep your butt low. Right ankle on top of the left knee. One last time. Right knee behind the left knee. Right ankle on top of the left thigh. Reach both hands up like Utkatasana. Keep your butt low. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, stand up, both feet on the ground. Inhale without flinching. Other side, left arm up. Left leg up. Exhale, hands in prayer, left ankle on your right thigh. Sit your butt down and back like you're doing chair pose. Inhale, lift the chest. Look down at your right foot. Try to think almost about dialing it outwards against the mat. Slowly lift the left ankle off the right thigh. Tuck your left knee behind your right knee. Good. Then bring the left ankle forward. Place the left ankle on the right thigh. Pause. Keep tapping the right hip. Try to bring it in towards the left a little bit so it's not swinging to the right. Okay, 4 more times. Left knee behind the right knee. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. Try to go slow, breathe. 3 more. Left knee behind the right knee. Stay low with your butt. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. 2 more times. You're doing good. Keep your chest proud. Left knee behind the right knee. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. 1 last time. Left knee behind the right knee. Good, and then left ankle on top of the right thigh. Keep your butt low. Keep your chest lifted. Outer right hip hugging in. Take a deep breath in, both arms overhead like Utkatasana. Take a full inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, stand up. And release. Good. Inhale, reach both hands up to the sky. Look up, reach up. Exhale, fold over your legs all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine. Exhale, step or jump, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog or cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take a steady breath in and a steady breath out. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Okay, 1 last breath here. Bend both of your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up towards the sky, big breath in. Exhale, hands to your chest. Good. Please put your hands on your hips. Lift your right knee up. Place your right foot on your left inner thigh for tree pose. If the right foot doesn't come to your left thigh, just keep it on your ankle or your calf. Poke your right butt and try to externally rotate your right leg from deep in your right hip, below the glute max. Push the right foot against your left thigh. Hug your outer left hip in. So hug the left thigh towards the right. Good. Inhale, reach both hands up. Tree pose. If it's too much, keep your hands in prayer. Take a full breath into your body. Full breath out. Deep inhale. Full exhale. And put your hands on your hips. Look down at your left foot. Begin to open your right knee more to the right. Look down at your left foot, dial it towards the left. Begin to take that right leg back behind you and straighten your right leg. Begin to open your hips towards the right, but keep dialing your left foot towards the left. And then come up, release. Tree pose, other side. Bend your left knee, place it on your right thigh or your calf. Inhale, both arms up. Or hands up, prayer at your chest. Focus your eyes straight out in front of you. Take 3 breaths. Two. 1. Okay, poke your left butt. Try to get the muscles below the butt to work by opening the left knee to the left. Then put both hands on your hips. Now take your left knee a little bit more behind you so your hips turn to the left. And then take the left leg straight back behind you, straighten the leg, kind of like you're a dancer. And then begin to lift that left leg just a little bit higher, but I want you to look down at your right foot and try to keep dialing that right foot a little to the right so that your right foot's not turning in. And take one more deep inhale and exhale, release. Step your left foot forward. Good job. Bend both knees. Step your right foot far back, warrior 2 pose. Bend into your left knee. As you bend into your left knee, try to get your left thigh totally parallel to the floor. Reach back with your right hand so your chest is square to the right wall. Reach forward with your left hand. Can you stay for 5 breaths? Drishti. Focus your eyes just off the tip of your left middle finger. 4. Can you find depth in the legs, but a lifting up through the torso? 3. Can you dial your left foot outwards against the mat? 3. 2. Okay, one last deep breath in and out. Well done. Hands to hips, straighten your front leg. Maybe take your back foot in a little and turn your back foot in about 20 to 30 degrees. Straighten your left leg, look at your left foot. Can you try to dial the foot laterally towards the left a little bit? From deep in the left hip. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, reach far forward with your left hand. Place your left hand down on shin, ankle, block, or the floor on the outside edge of your foot. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Turn your chest and your belly up for triangle pose. Look up. If it hurts your neck to look up, then look down. Okay, that's totally fine. Draw the shoulders down the back. 5 slow, steady breaths. Can you listen to yourself breathe? Wherever you are looking, can you keep your eyes steady? Push down through both feet. As the front foot dials outwards, can you push down into your back foot and dial it in slightly? Let the upper inner right thigh roll back. Turn your chest up. Take one more inhale. Right hand on your right hip, look down, bend into your left knee, shift forward, half moon pose. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. Look down at the ground. Look at your left foot. It's okay to put a little bend in your left knee. Now, can you lift the instep of your left foot? Dial the foot outwards. Like push your left foot down and try to turn your left foot outwards against the mat slightly. Really important in half moon here to find that dialing out energy. Then straighten your right leg, lift your right leg higher. Turn your chest to the right, reach your right arm up. Option to stay here or bend the right knee, reach back, catch the right foot, Shavasana. 3 more breaths. 2. If you fall out, be lighthearted about it, you know? Just be like, oh, I fell. Okay, great. Try to get back in when you can. 1 more breath. It's a tricky pose, so please do not be too hard on yourself. Come back to half moon pose. Straighten your right leg if you had the knee bent. And exhale. Both hands to the ground. Step your right foot forward. Hands to your hips. Deep inhale. Stand up. Bend both of your knees. Step your left foot back. Bend into your right knee, warrior 2. So line your feet up heel to heel. Bend into your front knee so it's parallel to the thighs, parallel-ish to the floor. Spread your arms wide. Where are you looking? Can you look just off the tip of your right middle finger? Can you lunge a little bit deeper into your front thigh? Good job, Amanda. So good. You're listening to me. I'm just creeping on some of you like the big brother right now. 2 more breaths. Can you breathe into the chest? Vance, try to externally rotate that front leg a little bit more. Yes, beautiful. Well done. One last deep inhale, everyone. Full exhale. And hands to your hips. Straighten your front leg. Turn your back foot in just a little, like 20 to 30 degrees. Okay, front leg straight. Inhale, spread your arms nice and wide again. And then reach your right arm far forward, like you're reaching forward for $1 million. But then you say, I don't need $1 million. I'll be happy with just 100. Right hand comes down to shin, ankle, block, or floor. I don't know about you. I'd still take the $1 million. Hey, hand on ground or block. Or shin. Hey, left hand up to the sky. Turn your head to look up to your left thumb. But if that's just really crunchy on your neck, then just look down at the ground. Wherever you look, though, can your eyes be steady? That's what we're working on today. Where are we putting our attention? What type of energy is it cultivating? As you press down through your front foot, think about dialing that front foot outwards against the mat. And just be sensitive. Can you feel that near your right butt or your right outer hip? Push down through your back foot and dial the back foot in slightly. So your outer left hip rolls a little in and down. Turn the chest up. And take one more deep inhale. Exhale, look down. Left hand on your left hip, bend into your right knee, shift forward, lift that left leg up, half moon pose. So your right hand can be on the ground or on a block. Look down at your right foot. It's okay to put a little bend in your right knee. And then try to find that ground reaction force. Dial the right foot outwards against the mat slightly. Out. Good. Push down through that right foot. Now try to get your left leg a little higher. Straighten the left leg. Maybe bend your left knee. Reach back and catch the top of the foot. If that's not available for you, do not worry about it. Three more breaths. I think the more advanced you get in your yoga practice, the more you're satisfied with less. Like even with regards to the poses. Like you don't need to do all this crazy shit, excuse my language, in order to find peace, satisfaction, freedom. One last deep inhale. Straighten your left leg again for full half moon pose. Both hands come all the way down towards the ground. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Well done. Step back, plank pose. Take a deep inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath in downward dog. And a full breath out. Again, can you place your eyes conscientiously on one point? So there's this steadiness to how you look at the world. Okay, one more deep inhale. Full exhale. Good. Please step your right foot so it's underneath your belly. Your right foot is underneath your belly. It's kind of in the middle of your mat. And now lift your left leg up towards the sky. And so it feels a bit of an awkward pose. So bend your right knee a whole lot, lift your left leg up, and if it feels really awkward, then you are doing this right. It's an awkward position. If you can, you're gonna try to come onto your right tippy toes and lift your right heel, push your hands into the floor. Now you can totally just stay here. This is a really great position to build butt, leg, calf strength, as well as some upper body strength and wrist strength as you lean forward. So stay here, or if you want to go to a wall, you can, and kick up to handstand. Otherwise, just stay where you are, 5 more breaths. Try to stay in that position. 4, if you're up in a handstand, try to externally rotate the right leg and come into tree pose in handstand. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Wherever you are, try to stay with it. Steady your eyes on one point. Focus your eyes. 1 last breath. Good. And exhale. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down towards the ground. Inhale. Untitled. Take a full breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Option to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Option to take the right hand towards the ground and the left hand up and over. Take 3 more breaths. 2. 1 last breath in. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Step your right foot forward, your left foot back. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, hands to chest, and then twist to the other side. Option to take the left hand down and the right hand up, lift the back thigh. 3 breaths. Breathe. Focus on your breath. 2. Well done. Both hands to the ground. Downward dog pose. Take a full breath in downward dog. Full breath out. Okay, this is the last little awkward thing. Step your left foot underneath your belly. I know it can be a bit awkward to hold, so if it feels awkward for you, I'm with you. Okay, lift your right leg up to the sky. Try to get your belly close towards your left thigh. Then come onto your left tippy toes, try to lift your left heel. Now just try to stay here. It's a really good position to build hip flexion, strength of the standing leg, strength of the arms and the shoulders. Or if you want to, you can go towards a wall, and we're gonna kick up to handstand. If you can, try to take the left knee into tree pose in handstand pose. Wherever you are, take 4 more breaths. Just try to focus on yourself, on your mat. 3 more breaths, you're almost there. Breathe deep, push the floor away. 2, can you get your right leg a little bit higher? Push through the hands. 1 last breath. Step your right foot forward. Step your left knee back. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Hands up, palms touch. And exhale, hands come down towards the ground. Lengthen your right leg, so shift your butt back. Slide your right leg forward. So option to just take half splits or slide the right leg forward into full splits. So if you're tight like a white guy, you might need to put your hands on blocks, okay? If you're really tight, you might just stay in a half split where your butt's a little more back. If you're really comfortable in your full split, you can reach both hands up towards the sky. And wherever you are, take 3 more breaths. Can you breathe deeply into the belly, the ribs, and the chest? 2. Okay, 1 last deep inhale. Full exhale. And then release. Other side. Step your left foot forward. Shift your butt back and try to straighten your left leg. So if you have very tight legs, I'd recommend just staying here. Even maybe have your hands on your blocks as you straighten your left leg like this. It's just a little bit easier on the hamstrings. If you'd like to go further, you can begin to slide your left leg forward. Just be gentle with your body. It's a big pose, okay? If you're quite low in Hanumanasana and you feel stable, I'd reach both hands up. 3 more breaths. 2, can your eyes be steady? Your breath be slow and deep. Good. Total Swadhisthana pose. Work in those hips. 1 last deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down towards the ground. Release. Please come onto your bum and bring both legs out in front of you. Spread your legs nice and wide. Good. We'll start with your hands behind you. So if you're a little bit tighter through the inner groins, then take your hands behind you. It might even be helpful to sit on a block or a blanket if you have one. Just sit your butt up a little. Take your hands behind you and then push down into your hands and lift the chest up and elongate the spine. So you're just a little more taller through the spine and you feel a little more supported. So stay here is option 1, especially if you're a little more tight. Option 2, begin to walk your hands forward and down. Then wherever you are, can you take some slow, deep, steady breaths? 3 more deep breaths. Really breathe into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And then inhale, slowly push yourself up. Please come to a comfortable seat. From here, today we're actually going to move into Pranayama before we take Shavasana. So I'd like you to choose a seated position that's really comfortable for you, whether it's cross-legged or kneeling or sitting on a chair even can be really good. So please bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Today we're going to practice Nadi Shodhana. So we're moving on from our Samavritti Pranayama and we're moving into Nadi Shodhana. So I find Samavritti very grounding and then Nadi Shodhana very balancing. So the first 3 days we focused on grounding our prana, our life force energy, through doing Samavritti Pranayama. And now we'll focus on balancing our prana through Nadi Shodhana, which balances the solar and lunar sides of our body. So if you take your right palm so it's facing the ceiling, and then take your middle and index finger together, and then place them in the center of the palm, I use my thumb and my ring finger as the tools to close my nostrils. So I close one nostril at a time with my thumb and the other nostril at a time with the ring finger. There's different ways, there's different hand mudras to do Nadi Shodhana. So if you know a different one that you really prefer, you can do that. Otherwise, right palm up, bring the index and middle finger together, place them at the center of the palm, and then you'll use your thumb to close your right nostril and your ring finger to close your left nostril, and you'll alternate between the two. I'll guide you through it. Can you keep your face relaxed? Good. Take a natural breath in and a natural breath out. Just one more breath like that, remembering that if this breathing exercise doesn't work for you today, just return to Samavriti, the same breathing exercise we've been doing for the last 3 days. If at any point I'm counting too slow or too fast, just listen to your own body and do what feels best. Take one more deep inhale and a full exhale. Close your right nostril, inhale through your left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your left nostril and exhale through your right nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your inhale through your right nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now close your right nostril and exhale through your left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left, exhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale through left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left, exhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Please take a natural breath in. Release your hand down. Natural breath out. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beginning the second round. Set your fingers. Close your right nostril. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please release your hand. Take a natural breath in. Natural breath out. 2 more natural breaths. We'll finish our pranayama with 1 round of samavritti, what we've been doing yesterday, with a slightly longer retention, but only if that works for your body. If you're feeling a bit tired or achy from sitting, I would invite you to lie on your back and bend your knees and come into constructive rest, like how we've done pranayama for the last 3 days. The best thing you can do for pranayama is ensure the ease and comfort of your body. Please set yourself up for your last pranayama. Be comfortable. If you're on your back, you can place your hands on your lower ribs, the tips of your middle fingers touching. If you're seated, you can place your hands wherever you'd like. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhaling, 5, 4, go slow, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom of the exhale for 3. Hold for 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top of the inhale for 3, for 2, hold for 1, then exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Inhaling. Please count on your own now. Go at your own rhythm. If it's feeling too strained or forceful, or like you're catching your breath, it's just an indicator you're pushing a little too hard. So just back off a little, let go of the retentions, do a smaller count. There should be a gentleness to this pranayama. Wherever you are, finish your last round, finishing on the exhale. Once you're finished, take a natural breath in and a natural breath out. We will take a Shavasana. So if you're seated, please come onto your back now. If you're on your back already, we'll just do a couple closing poses. So once you're lying on your back, bend your knees. Your feet are mat distance wide. Cactus your arms out to either side. Let both of your knees fall to the right. And then push your left foot against the ground. Squeeze your left glutes to just open that left hip a little. And turn your head to look towards the left over your left arm. And as you push your left foot down a little and squeeze your left glutes, can you let your hips move a little more to the right? Take a deep breath into your belly, into your ribs, into your chest. Full breath out. And then bring your knees back to center. Let your knees fall over towards the left. Push your right foot against the ground. And as you push your right foot, like the inner part of your foot, your inner heel, your inner big toe into the floor, can you squeeze your right butt a little? So your hips move a little more to the left. Your right butt's toned. Turn your head to look over your right arm. Take a deep breath into your belly, ribs, chest. And slowly bring your knees back to center. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Straighten your left leg forward. Take a deep inhale into your body. Full exhale. You switch sides, hug your left knee in, release your right leg forward. Take a deep inhale. Full exhale. Please take Shavasana, corpse pose, lying on the ground. Your opportunity to let go of any story. Practicing the ultimate release, letting go. The feet let go, the hands let go. The pelvic floor relaxes. Your lower abdomen softens. The muscles in your face melt. And the shoulders and arms relax. If you'd like to stay here a little longer, please feel free to. Otherwise, take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take your arms overhead, give your body a big stretch. Bend your knees. Roll over onto your right hand side. And gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. With your eyes closed, please bring your hands together in front of your chest, palms touching. As you flow through your day, can you pay attention to where you're directing your energy? Pay attention to where you're directing your attention. Maybe can you practice Shri? Seek out what is working. Seek out what is good and what is beautiful. Pay attention to maybe looking straight out ahead of you or looking up at the sky. Namaste. Good job on day 4, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just a reminder that on day 7, it's our rest day. So we won't be doing any asana. We'll just be doing a philosophy chat and a meditation. So it'll only take 30 minutes on day 7. So basically we only have 2 days left, and then we're going to take a little rest day on day 7. And then we have 3 days after that. So it's kind of coming to a close soon. So thank you for your commitment. Thank you for showing up. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 5. Mwah! Take care. If you have any questions, just email me at duncan@duncanyoga.com. Love you all.